Hey guys, it's me, Johnny Kerms 2000 here, and welcome to my Let's Play of Dead or Alive 3 for the Xbox. So we are continuing on with my coverage of the Dead or Alive series. I've done Dead or Alive 1, Dead or Alive 1 for the PlayStation, Dead or Alive 2 for the Dreamcast, Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore for the PlayStation 2, and now we are moving on to the next console up on our list, and that is the Xbox for Dead or Alive 3. So this game was released in November 15th, 2001. It was actually a launch title for the Xbox. I actually have very fond memories of it back in the day, as I was one of my friends actually got this game at launch. It was one of the packages that you can purchase. I don't know if you guys remember from back in the day, or if this is just going to make me feel completely old, but when the Xbox launched, you actually had to choose a package, and the one that my friend got when he pre-ordered his was, it came with an Xbox, I think an extra controller, I want to say, and then it came with Dead or Alive 3 and Halo Combat Evolved, which was all kinds of awesome. So anyway, right off the bat here, we are greeted with, in my opinion, one of the best intros to a fighting game ever made. This intro, it's going to last a while, but my god, is it amazing. And normally I would make it so that I wouldn't talk during the intros, especially something cool like this. But unfortunately, this does use a song from AEROSMITH called 9 Lives. It's actually one of my favorite AEROSMITH songs ever. I love it. So unfortunately, I have to keep talking over this because I don't want this video to get flagged or have a copyright notice or banned or anything like that. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to talk. But I mean, just look at this. This is, back in the day, you really didn't see stuff like this, like so cinematic. And this is in-game graphics, guys. This is how far we've advanced in the Dead or Alive series. Mind you, the Dead or Alive series has always had amazing graphics, you know, at the time that they were released, even going back as far back as the Sega Saturn. So anyway, this was the first time that the Dead or Alive series, a game was made exclusive for the console. This game did not have an arcade version released for it the same way that Dead or Alive 1 and 2 had, and this is also the last game in the series to carry a T rating. Every subsequent game in the following this game in the Dead or Alive series would have an M rated rating from the ESRB, except for, I think, Dead or Alive Dimensions for I want to say the 3DS. So there's some bit of trivia there for you. Man, I love this intro. Like, seriously, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm probably going to end up putting a link in the description of this video, or somewhere, maybe, like, yeah, I'll put it in the description, so you guys can see the video without me having to talk over it. Again, normally I would just kind of edit out my commentary to let you guys see this without me spoiling it with my commentary over it, but again, it's for copyright reasons. I have to talk over it, so this video does get flagged. So anyway, the story behind this was also the first game in the series to be on a Microsoft console, on the Xbox, on an Xbox console. The reason for that is because Itagaki, the creator, I've talked about him before in previous videos, he always wanted to be his series, Dead or Alive series, to go on the console that is the most powerful at the time. And at the time, the Xbox was pretty much it. It was way more powerful than the PlayStation 2. And I'm not exactly sure the specifics of it, but it was also more powerful than the GameCube. And obviously, you know, the Dreamcast, unfortunately, was left behind, like way behind at this point. So this is the first game in a series of 4 games in total that were exclusive for the actually 5 games that included Dead or Alive 3 and Dead or Alive Ultimate, Extreme Beach Volleyball, Dead or Alive 4, and then Extreme Beach Volleyball 2, I believe, was also exclusive to Xbox and Xbox 360. So this was the first game to do that. It wasn't until Dead or Alive 5 that the series finally went back to being on a PlayStation console. Man, I love this imagery. Seriously, like I love this. Now, this game also received a lot of good marks. I believe this is also the highest, the most successful game in the Dead or Alive series, meaning that this is the one that sold the most copies. That's really not that weird to think about, especially since this was a an Xbox launch title, plus it came with the bundles, as I said before. So if you wanted to get an Xbox, chances are you probably got this game whether you wanted it or not. But then again, I mean, you want to have this game. Back in the day, this was one of the reasons, along with Halo, that you got the Xbox. These graphics looked amazing back then, and they still look amazing now. Now, as you guys can see here, we've expanded the roster quite a bit since Dead or Alive 2. I will be talking about the roster in a little bit, but I wanted to mention right away that I am going to be playing as Hitomi, who is one of the new characters. As far as the new characters, we have 5 new characters in this game. One of the new characters obviously is going to be the final boss, whose name is Genra. I'll talk about him later on. But besides him, we also have Hitomi here, who I will be playing as, and I will be playing with one of her extra costumes, which I'll talk about later on. Some of you may be looking at this and wondering where did I get this costume from, because it doesn't come with the normal version of Dead or Alive 3, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But Hitomi is a brand new character. We also have Brad Wong, who was the guy doing the drunken kung fu that looked like he is a big fan of Sephiroth's hair, because he also has long silver hair. We also have Christy, who has the white hair, the chick with the white hair, and Christy is probably I don't know what to call her. She is very skanky in the Dead or Alive series. For some reason, they always make it an effort to make her either wear the skankiest outfits or put her in the skankiest positions ever. Or skanky is probably not the best word. Basically, they flaunt her figure a lot, including a shower scene in this game, and she also appears nude in Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. So Christy is quite infamous that way. We also have the last final new character is Hayate, who we will see in Hitomi's story mode here. Hayate is a ninja from the same clan as Kasumi and Ayane, and he actually has a bit of backstory, but I'll get to that in a little bit. We also have a returning character, Bayman, who was in the original Dead or Alive series, but he actually was left out of Dead or Alive 2 for whatever reason, and he makes his return in this game. And we have 2 characters that are gone from the last game, Dead or Alive 2. The obvious one being Tengu, who was the boss character from Dead or Alive 2. He's gone. There's no way to unlock him or anything like that in this version. We also don't have Ian, who was the Kasumi and Ayane's brother from Dead or Alive 2, who had amnesia. Now, Ian is in this game. You can unlock him. However, his story is that he has amnesia. At the end of Dead or Alive 2, he regained his memory, and he eventually became Hayate. So, the character, from a storyline perspective, is in this game as Hayate, but Ian, as a playable character from a moveset standpoint or whatever you want to call it, he is not in this game, but he is an unlockable character, though you can't play as him in story mode. And as you guys can see here, I am being all kinds of torn up by Jan Lee. Now, one of the interesting things here about this game that wasn't in the last game is these obstacles here, like these icicles that you can break through. From what I can remember, those weren't present in Dead or Alive 2 at all. You still had obstacles in the levels, like walls and things like that, but there were no breakable walls like this, breakable obstacles like the icicles. And as you guys can see there, they look all kinds of amazing when you break through them. Again, showcasing the power of the Xbox when this game first came out. You could not do this on the PlayStation 2 and GameCube. Well, maybe you couldn't, but it was a lot easier on the Xbox. And one of the things about the gameplay, I'll go ahead and start talking about the gameplay. The gameplay hasn't changed much at all since Dead or Alive 2. There's a couple things here and there. Obviously, some characters have some new moves and little tweaks here and there, but for the most part, they are pretty much the same. I've heard that, from my experience, I find this game to be a bit easier than Dead or Alive 2, but not by much. It's not that drastic. In fact, I'm going to have a bit of a... as you guys saw there, I had a bit of a difficulty with Jan Lee, so it really just depends on the difficulty setting, I think. Every now and then you'll get a character that may give you some trouble. Now, as far as the stages here, the stages have been done amazingly. They started with Dead or Alive 2, but this is the game that really perfected them as far as just how big and detailed they are. In fact, you're going to see me here. I actually end up throwing Lei Fang outside the freaking window. And that, to me, that still looks amazing. That's one of the reasons why I love the Dead or Alive series, is because you can do stuff like this. Look at this. You cannot do that in other games. Maybe the recent Mortal Kombat games, especially DC versus Mortal Kombat. But, I mean, look at this. It still looks amazing, getting the chance to throw somebody out the freaking window of a building. Now, this is Hayate, as I explained before. That's the new character that was introduced. And, again, he pretty much just took the place. Now, Hitomi's movesets are very similar to Ian's from Dead or Alive 2. She is a karate fighter. So she plays similarly to Ian. So I guess they sort of figured they'd make a new character in Hayate and then just kind of give a lot of Ian's style, that hard-hitting karate style, to a new character, Hitomi, who I believe she actually didn't get added until very late in the development, and she actually ended up being the most popular character from this game. So go figure. Now, one thing I mentioned before about the costumes in this game. Some of you may be wondering why I'm using different costumes than are readily available in the regular Dead or Alive 3 disc. And no, this isn't a modded game. You could actually get what is known as a booster disc. Now, originally, Xbox had Xbox Live. That's not something that was new to the Xbox 360. It was definitely improved upon when the Xbox 360 came out, but it was definitely not new. And when this game first came out, I think what happened was that you could actually download these costumes through Xbox Live. Aside from that, you could also get it through what was known as a booster disc, which was a disc that came through the official Xbox magazine, which allowed you to download all these different costumes for the characters for this game, and also a new opening cinematic, which is pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure how to get that now, unless you go on Amazon and look it up, that specific disc that has the booster disc on it. Another way that you can get these extra costumes is if you have Dead or Alive Ultimate, and Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate gives you an option of unlocking the booster disc itself, and then I think if you have the same save file as a Dead or Alive 3, then you can download the extra costumes onto Dead or Alive 3, and then you can have them that way. So anyway, guys, this is Omega. Now, I know that I mentioned that his name was Genra. Genra is his normal name. Omega is his sort of demon name-looking thing. From what I can remember, he is basically Ayane's father, like his father figure. Now, we're not actually going to see this until the next game that I do, which is Dead or Alive Ultimate. But Ayane is actually not Hitomi, Ayane isn't Kasumi and Hayate's brother, like by blood. Like, she is their half-sister. It gets a little bit complicated. She is their half-sister. Her dad is somebody else, which I'm not going to spoil it right now because it's going to be a big part of the intro for the next game. And Genra here, who has since been possessed, I can't remember the exact reason for it, the storyline reason, but he's since been possessed, and this was basically Ayane's caretaker, I guess. And he can be a bit tricky, as you guys can see there. You fight him at an angle, so it can be kind of tricky. You have to get in close. Every time he falls down, you get hit for some stupid reason, so that can be kind of annoying. But anyway, guys, this is also the next big thing that was improved upon tremendously in this game. We now have proper ending cinematics. Now, we had ending cinematics in the last game, but they weren't really all that great. They were short, they were to the point. These, you could honestly see these being in a movie. They're very cinematic, they're very, very well done. Each one of them is very well, it shows you a lot about the character. Well, some of them a bit more than others, but here you can see Hitomi being trained by her father, presumably, in karate, and, this is Hollywood quality stuff here. I mean, again, this is one of the reasons why when you first got the Xbox, this was amazing to look at. You didn't see this stuff on the original PlayStation or the Dreamcast and things like that. Maybe some RPGs, but not really, but definitely not in a fighting game. And each character has an ending cinematic like this, except for Ian, because, again, he's not available in story mode. So this is, again, Dead or Alive 3 definitely did some things that kind of moved the series ahead, but they didn't really move that much. Again, the gameplay was pretty similar. Now, here's the thing, guys. I thought that the credits would roll at this point, but they don't. I'm actually here, a little bit of an extra here. I'm actually looking for the credits because I wanted to show the credits to kind of talk about this game a little bit more. But I couldn't find them, so I show off the movie theater mode, which is basically where you show off the ending cinematics. But we don't have credits, so I don't have credits to show you guys. But anyway, guys, that's it for Dead or Alive 3. It's a great game, still very solid. Next time we will be moving on to Dead or Alive Ultimate, so it can only get better from here. Dead or Alive Ultimate is actually one of my favorite games, so I can't wait for that. So anyway, guys, thank you again for watching me, and this has been JohnnyCrims2000, and I will see you in my next video. Alright, peace out. As always, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to get more stuff from me. In the meantime, if you like my videos, be sure to find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Raptr, and Screwattack.com to see the other gaming-related content that I upload. Info is in the description. Who knows? Maybe you'll like my stuff. Maybe. Maybe.